Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us on today's stream. We are here to discuss the latest Future Games show and announcements made on it, and to celebrate the Owlcat Games birthday. We turned 9 years old today, and it's been a hell of a journey. So let me introduce my colleagues and our today's guest. We have Gala. She's a community manager on the Expanse. Lutra. She's a community manager for Blind Descent project, and our special guest, Mortismal Gaming, a good friend of ours.
How's it going?
Okay. So first of all, I wanted to ask, how did you enjoy the show overall? I mean, the Future Games show and its releases. How did it feel? Did you watch it or stream it on your channel?
I didn't personally stream it. I was a little busy yesterday, but I did have what I do with every announcement show basically is I go through all of the announcements and then I will write down anything of interest to me that I'm likely to make a video about and then kind of go over it that way. So obviously the Expanse was at the top of the list. There was a few others in there that I thought were interesting. There was a small game called the Bureau of Fantastical and Arcane Affairs that looked especially interesting, but that's kind of my goal with any of that stuff, really.
Okay, we are always we're excited as well about the show because we wanted to finally share that we are working on the Expanse. It was really hard to keep it in secret for so long, but we finally can talk about it and we can finally show something. Of course, not everything, but we will discuss something about the project today, and of course we will show some screenshots and ask some questions and answer some questions. So let's start with the Expanse trailer. I think it's awesome and I always want to watch it once more. So let's start with it.
Zafar, pull up Navtech.
Just a sec. Got it.
Taki. We gonna find out about your Kopang right quick, okay?
Just want to do him justice. Stuck his neck out for us. Least we can do is get him out alive.
We've got big enough guns to make justice, all right?
Oh, Michael. To a man with a hammer, just about everything looks like a nail.
Aim for show. Time to say oh yeah with our hammer.
Missile range in 1 minute.
Brace yourselves. We're going for a spin. Zafar, did you get a signal?
After the large haul down this corridor, they shut down this part of the facility. Long time before our arrival.
Fine. Let's deal with those guys first.
In Yelota. They never look up. Zafar, you were right. They shut down the... Owlcat! I need backup!
Hold on, I'm coming! I'll cover you. Thanks.
I can't see shit from here.
The bird up high shall be thine eyes. What the hell happened here? Hey, buddy. Glad you're still breathing.
Because I can't answer them.
Okay, so we are back.
All right.
So tell us, how did you enjoy the trailer and the announcement overall? Did you expect it coming, or it was a complete surprise?
So it was a little bit of a surprise. I would say, as part of the teaser, one of the main things people kept guessing was the Expanse, which had to do with the mention of Osiris, of course, and then in the bottom right corner, that was that scrolling text in the teaser that mentioned some things that were kind of relevant to the Expanse, from what I understand. And so, in that way, it was definitely one of the guesses people had. But as with any good teaser, none of it lined up perfectly, so it was still a surprise in that way. As for the trailer itself, it looks like a big push in the way Owlcat's been talking about going in terms of production value and things like that, because it's a very impressive trailer. So that was kind of my initial impressions.
That's great. Gala, maybe you can tell us a bit about the teaser. How was it created and the idea behind it?
I don't actually remember how we came up with the idea. We kind of just brainstormed how we can lead to the trailer. And initial idea behind the trailer was that the team is answering a distress call from Zafar's friend. And they go to this asteroid base to rescue him. But it kind of goes sideways. As you just saw. So we kind of made a prequel in which he sends the signal before everything bad happens to the guy. Also, some people who were with us during Wrath of the Righteous Kickstarter can probably recognize the guy in the end. It's a bit of an Easter egg.
Well, it was funny about the fire and his name, how people heard it. But there were so many Zabar, Zabor, and a lot of poor guy.
Or the far.
My favorite was people thinking it was Zalbar, which is a character from Knights of the Old Republic.
Well, yeah, I saw some people talking about this, maybe some Star Wars franchise, but
Yeah.
no.
No, it's just good old Zafar.
we can't wait to know more about him and his crazy devices. And also, I wanted to highlight that two people on the teaser stream actually won, because one of them, with the name Rotten the Rogue, he was the first to find out that this light signal in the middle of asteroid is actually a Morse code. And another user who had name Separism, I think. Sorry if I spell it wrong way. He was actually the first to find the What Is Next website using this code. So both of you guys, if you are watching, you will get the key for the game when it will be released. So congratulations
Congrats.
about that. Yeah.
Cool.
That's fun.
So let's check if we get some questions in the chat.
Questions.
Yeah, there are plenty.
Was it hard to get the licensing right for the game? No, really. I think. I mean, we can't disclose any, business info about this, but people at Alcon are really nice and they're really into the game.
Yeah, and there's a question about if it will be single player or co-op. It will be only a single player experience.
Single player, no
Yeah.
co-op. Yeah.
Given the sort of shift in direction from your guys' previous CRPGs, even though they were adding co-op to Rogue Trader as an example, was that a deliberate choice on your guys' end to try to make sure you land that initial experience in the genre move first? Or was it just kind of like, this isn't really a story that has co-op involved?
I mean, it's kind of, I guess it's closer to the second. It's very focused around the captain and their story and the story of their family and friends. So we thought about how we could put co-op into it, but we didn't have any good ideas how it could be done, because I mean, companions are clearly their own people and you can't replace them with other
Right.
players. Yeah, and the twin, well, they are also their own person, they have their own personality. So yeah, it felt like it would make the game less fun. It would take away from the focus on the main story.
I hear you. I mean, as somebody who doesn't really play too many co-op games these days, it's not a huge deal to me. But I think, as long as the narrative that you guys want to put in the game manages to come across better in that way, I think it'll wind up being fine in the end. But I actually did have another question myself, if we're not too caught up in chat, which, well, I was actually a little curious about when the game started development. Because you guys have honestly just working on so many projects these days, between Rogue Trader DLC, Dark Heresy, this game. I think there was one more unannounced from an AMA a while back. I'm not sure about that, but so I was kind of curious just when you guys got started on this one specifically.
I think it started somewhere after Rusted Righteous release. If I remember right. Yeah, it's difficult. I feel like it's all. I mean, it has some stages like pre-production and prototyping. So maybe it's better to ask someone who was more involved than us in these stages.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but it's been in
Maybe 4
development
years
for
ago.
quite a long time.
4
Yeah, I
years.
think
Yeah.
something like that.
That's funny. You mentioned Wrath of the Righteous specifically because I remember right after that game released, there was a bunch of speculation about some sci-fi project you guys had posted job postings for, I think, and everybody just assumed it was Rogue Trader when you guys pivoted to Warhammer 40K because of all the tech involved. So it's kind of funny that there was some truth to both of those things.
Yeah, we kind of hired for both. The difference is that for the Expanse, we switched to Unreal Engine. I think it
Mhm.
was the fourth one at first and the fifth version later.
Yeah.
Now it's Unreal 5, I think.
We've got a question in the chat. How is a glass with a drink possible in zero gravity? Or is it a special glass?
Well, it's not a glass, it's a cup. It was actually an homage for a scene from the show where the Rocinante team prepares to attack Thought Station. And James Holden is sitting in his chair and he's like drinking coffee. And Amos then like cut this shit, put it away because they will turn on the engine on, it'll hit someone in the head. Yeah, so we kind of reference that.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, you can drink from the cup in 0G. It will be just kind of weird because you will have to stick your tongue into it. Because the liquid, it sticks to the sides of the cup. Kind of like, yeah, it just sticks. So you need to either put a straw into it or stick your tongue into it like a cat.
Or just
So
maybe
it's not-
swallow it whole.
Stick a finger. Some
Yeah,
coffee
maybe, you know,
Yeah.
it flies like a bob, and you
Yeah.
just open your mouth and swallow it like a
The thing
frog.
with this trailer is that we had to took some artistic liberties because we do it accurately. Most people who live on Earth and who are not familiar with all this space stuff will think it's super weird. I mean, we could like use the 0G cup. It exists. They use it on ISS. But it has really weird shape. And when I first saw it, I thought it was some kind of medical equipment.
Oh, wow.
And drinking from it would look kind of weird for people who are not familiar with it. So
Well,
we decided
speaking
to go
of-
with the cup. At least the cup is recognizable, yeah.
speaking of really minute details like that, I'm curious if there's any sort of in-game presentation of the universe, because I mean, obviously there will be something like that, but in terms of the way you onboard new people to the universe, I mean, because I mean, realistically, there's some people who are interested in your games who aren't necessarily interested in the Expanse, and with Rogue Trader and even Wrath of the Righteous, you have things like those in-game glossaries that you know, obviously give you a clearer picture if you need them of certain terms. Will there be anything like that with this particular game, or is it just kind
Yeah,
of through the narrative?
we plan to introduce people who are not familiar with the Expanse, so they feel at home and they will either understand everything from the context and the dialogues or additional information they can find, as always. So you don't need to watch all the show episodes or read all the books. But if you do, it will be more fun because then you will like, oh, I've read about this place. Oh, I saw this place in the show. Oh, I know this person. Like, I've seen them in the show.
Yeah.
Even like Pinkwater, people who read the books will recognize the name probably. That it was a short episode in the books, I think, and in the Expanse of Osiris Reborn, you start as a Pinkwater mercenary. Oh no. Are we live?
Yes, sorry, something happened.
Just a moment.
I say no worries if I need to wait.
Raise the dead spell. Yeah. It's
Yeah, no problem.